What's up, everyone out there in YouTube world, Facebook world, social media world? Welcome to another episode of Musings with MGL. I am your host, as always, MGL. If you like what my content is and what I have to say, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification, ding, ding, ding. And I'm trying to get up to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so it'd be pretty cool if you could or hit the subscribe button to get my numbers up. So the topic that we're going to talk about here today is, as you can see by the headline here, I'll go back to the top. Comes to us from our friends over at Ammo Land. UPS threatens to cancel service for most of the gun industry. Atlanta, Georgia. UPS has stepped up its anti-gun campaign by requiring online sellers to ship an average of 50 handguns daily to use its second-day air service. Sellers who do not ship at least 350 handguns a week risk losing their shipping accounts. Under the new agreement, UPS is only required to give customers a 10-day notice before cutting them off from the shipping service. The volume necessary means that most online retailers and manufacturers are now cut off from shipping guns through the carrier unless the handgun is shipped using the expensive next-day air service. The notice was sent to UPS customers that deal in firearms. UPS has been under pressure from anti-gun groups and politicians to stop doing business with the gun industry. This new move appears to be a way that UPS can cut ties to most of the industry without jeopardizing its major accounts. The letter also references updating its policies to be in line with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, everybody's favorite alphabet, and state regulations. This reference most likely refers to new rules surrounding privately manufactured firearms, PMFs. Those are those ghost guns that all of a sudden have become the big deal today. But UPS goes much further than required by law. UPS has been at the center of controversy recently when it canceled the account of a seller of 80% lowers. The shipping giant notified Ghost Firearms of Florida that it would stop shipping from the company. It also told the online retailer that it would seize and destroy packages currently en route to customers, leaving Ghost Firearms scrambling for options. At the time, Ghost Firearms had more than $30,000 in products that were endangered of being destroyed. A month later, under pressure from the Giffords Law Center to prevent gun violence, FedEx followed suit and stopped shipping unfinished frames and receivers. When one company bends a knee to a special interest group, the other is usually quick to follow suit. Recently, Giffords sent a letter to FedEx and UPS asking the companies to adopt, quote, a policy of refusing to ship dangerous firearm products that are fueling the epidemic of gun violence in America. Some firearm advocates see this as a backdoor gun control. Many gun owners buy firearms online because of the cost savings. The buyer still must pick up their ordered firearms from a FFL and be submitted through the same background check system as any other customer. By requiring smaller dealers to use next day air service, the cost savings disappear. Add in the cost of FFL's charge for transfers, and buying a gun from a smaller online retailer will become prohibitively expensive. The change will hurt all but the most prominent online retailers. The change will hurt small manufacturers as well. A manufacturer will have to ship 8,250 handguns a year or will be cut from UPS second day air service. The number is more than the total number of guns produced by most companies. UPS receives $252 million in state and local and federal subsidies annually, is attacking an industry that helps Americans exercise their constitutionally protected right to bear arms. Eric Pratt, Vice President of Gun Owners of America. This is another example of the woke cancel culture coming from the anti-gun crowd. The Second Amendment protects the right to keep and bear arms, and by default, that should include the right of gun makers to ship their firearms to market. If UPS is going to act like an enemy of our constitutional rights, then they shouldn't receive a dime of federal taxpayers' money. UPS obviously did not return their calls for comment. So, in a nutshell, as you can tell, what that means is UPS is trying some trickeration to cut down on online gun sales. And most of this does relate to these, quote, ghost guns. So what they don't like is people being able to essentially build their guns on their own. They want all guns to be purchased through retailers of some sort, which, hey, everybody loves gun shops. We support the retailers. But if you buy everything through a retailer, there's a record of that. And so a lot of people are finding ways to buy things without having to go through the retailer. Even if you buy a lower, as they're talking about here, and you buy all the other parts and put it together yourself, they don't like you doing that. They like you buying everything basically from the gun shop, because now they can track those purchases, especially with the new stuff they're doing with the credit cards, where they're creating a new credit card code for the online retailers. So UPS doesn't want to just stop shipping firearms, because I'm sure they still make a lot of money off of people doing that. So what they're trying to do is have their cake and eat it too. They're trying to please the left-wing gun control advocates by saying, look what we're doing. We're in it with you. But while at the same time they want to keep collecting money from the companies that pay them to ship their products. So they're doing what a lot of big corporations are these days. They like having the money, but they also want the social credit. So what this means is really, really small retailers who try and do a lot of stuff selling online, as you can tell by the article, is no longer going to be able to afford it, because you used to be able to get 2-day shipping by air, which was cheaper, but now unless you ship a certain number of guns, you have to go with the 1-day shipping, which makes it more expensive, which means it's cheaper to now go buy from the local retailer, which again, I support local retailers, obviously, and I have a lot of problems with some of the online retailers because they do make it sort of harder for brick and mortar stores to stay in business. But you can make the same argument for everything, Amazon, et cetera, et cetera. They're all putting, the online concept is putting a lot of local retailers out of business. So if I can, I always ask people to buy local and support the local dealers, not get them online. But a lot of the people online are also local people. Just because they're not in your community doesn't mean that they're not a local business where they're from. They also have families to feed and rents to pay, et cetera, et cetera. So anybody who's in the gun selling business is an advocate on our side, as far as I'm concerned, and they're also a target by the people on the left. And they really don't. It's making it clear they really don't like the online stuff. They've been complaining for years about your ability to quote, buy guns online secretly, even though, as the article points out, it's not secretly, because you still got to go through an FFL. But they really don't like people being able to kind of put their guns together at home, and they don't like them being able to order them online, because if you walk into a physical brick and mortar store, it creates more of a paper trail for them to be able to come after you later. And if they can eventually pass some sort of national gun registry, all that stuff is going to be way easier to get from retailers than it is from online people and people who build their firearms at home. So this is just another case of a big company trying to play fancy or footsie with the left, trying to get them to like them and to think that they're on their side and that they're woke, et cetera, and coming after the gun industry, whether it's coming after conservatives in general or radio shows or podcasts, the gun industry. All these big corporations, the Disneys of the world, are coming after everybody on the right, and they've always wanted to come after the guns, and now this is just another example of what's going to happen. You're going to see, I believe, in the future, most of these parcel companies are just going to get completely out of this altogether. They're just going to come out one day and say, you know what, we're not going to ship anything related to firearms anymore, because they are private companies and they don't have to do it. So if they really want to get their woke credentials at some point, my guess is you won't be able to have anything shipped through any sort of private company here in the near future. So this is just a first step into more loss of our rights. So just bringing that up to you, keep it in mind. Next time you want to ship something or buy something somewhere, maybe UPS is a company that you don't want to use because they clearly don't like the Second Amendment. So thanks for watching. Again, click like, subscribe, share, comment down below, and I'll be happy to talk to you about it. So I'm going to end it here. In the meantime, stay safe, stay healthy, stay vigilant, and as always, carry on.